Hello, right, so today I'm going to be doing the Sweet Exorcist stab, the famous bleep sound that's off the record, Test 1. Yorkshire bleep and bass tune. I think it came out in 1989 or 1990, not too sure, don't quote me on that. However, right, the stab I'm going to be making today is made by TAL BassLine. It's an emulation of the Roland SH-101 synth that was brought in the 80s by Roland. And I'll just show you the tune now. So, amongst all this, some great old school classics here, and we'll find the tune. And there it is, Test 1 by Sweet Exorcist. So I'll just play the tune.
Everything's ready from the dark side of the moon. Play the 5 times.
Tones. So that's the tune. That's Test 1 by Sweet Exorcist. Now the stab, I'll show you two versions of the sound that I've made. I've done one that I've made, as I say, that I'll show you how to make on TAL BassLine, and the other one is off a sample pack that I bought a few years back now when I started producing Sennheiser old school hardcore samples, and they are just great. They've got some great stabs, and I've heard these on a few tunes of my friends involved with the hardcore break scene, a new rave lot that have utilised these sounds. Now, back in the day when I was creating my first hardcore break tunes, I would use these quite a lot, but nowadays, as I know more about production and synthesis and whatnot, I actually make quite a lot of my sounds from the actual vinyl recording. Like, say, the breaks I actually sample from the actual vinyl, or if I've got the WAV quality one, then I'll take the original and do my own thing and process it my own way. Anyway, moving on. Here's, I'll just find you my, so, in my Riken and Hardcore pack, I've got stabs, and this is that's my version of what I made on TAL BassLine. Now, the version of the sample pack sounds like this. So if you look at that and we edit it, so that's that, and we'll get mine up just to look at it. Edit that. So here's mine. Mine sounds a bit cleaner because I've actually, as it's an actual synthesized sound straight off the digital workstation that I use, Fruity Loops. So they've sampled it off the actual record for those sample packs, and because it's off vinyl, the quality, the audio quality might slightly be, some of the frequencies are missing, for example, or that particular needle that they used could have been ever slightly different to the actual sound that they used via synthesis on the Roland SH-101. So let's get straight to this sound, and I'll show you how I've made it. So here's one I made earlier, Blue Peter styling. So that's the bleep, as I say, and here's the emulation of the Roland SH-101 synth. It's a great little synth, this. I'll put a little bit of delay on there, you might be able to hear that, I'll just play it. Anyway, so it goes like this. It doesn't go like that. So yeah, that sound is great. You can get some really nice bleeps up. You can hold it down as well. So yeah. So the sound is made, what I've done is I'll just create the sound from scratch, open up a new thing, and let's do it. So, TAL BassLine, open that one up first, insert that. Just gonna make, that's the one behind. So that, yeah, this is, what I do is I just go straight to the first preset on there called Start Here, so I'll just use that. Now you want to take the VCO range up to the highest octave it can go. So number 2. put the modulation up full, and the pulse width you don't bother with that. You change that to a triangle, the waveform on the modulation, and on here you take the saw down. Okay, just have a look back on that one. So as you can see on here, on the sound, sawtooth is down. So you leave the sub oscillator on because that adds just a slight bit of bottom end, and that's just a actually yes, you need to add the noise here. So this is where part of the sound really comes through. You can do it to taste really. I've just done it slightly above, you know. You can hear that sound coming through, and you can see on the analyzer it's got a bit of noise in the bottom end and the high end there now. Now, on the I've just brought the frequencies slightly down because to emulate that vinyl, off the vinyl feel, some of the higher frequencies are taken away, so I've just done that on here. And the envelope, so I might bring slightly down again just to take some of the highs off. On the modulation, take that up, and the keyboard, take that right up, so that means that it follows, keyboard follows on. Then I'll put that to envelope instead of gate. You see that? So then here, slight bit of attack because it's got a slight, Owen told me this, slight bit of attack phase on the sample, so add a bit of attack to the envelope, and the decay, bring it down, sustain ever so slightly above it, and a bit of release so that the sound doesn't click, and also you get a bit of. So now you're getting the basics of the sound. I mean that's pretty damn close. If you listen to the sample again over here in the old school hardcore, I mean I'll load this one in. Now you can see on here actually that some of the high end is taken away. So on mine, it's got a bit too much high end. That sounds pretty close, and that's basically all it is to the sound really. Over here, let's see what we've done. Yeah, take the modulation all the way to the top. And don't know why it's doing that, so I'll get rid of that. Anyway, so you're left with this basic sound. So yeah, add a bit of delay on it. What I've done on there is I've put it on the send, taken all the dry down because it's a send, and also just done it on here for the levels. You can up that to give it more delay and etc. Also rolled off some of the bottom end so that the delay doesn't interfere with the bottom end of that. What you could do, I guess, is I'll use one of my favourite filters, the VPS one from Vengeance. When it loads up, VPS filter. If it loads up, there we go. So, take some of the high end off, like I said, give it more of a vinyl feel. Slightly, maybe just. Actually, it'll bring it down a touch. Just dulls the sound a bit more, makes it sound that bit more real. What I might do is increase the noise on this one. For some reason, the other one went a bit schizo and decided to just hold a note down. I don't know why it did that. So I'm just going to add a bit more noise here. Taking away some bits, and take away some of the bottom ends now, and that should be the sound. There you go. So what I do now is I sample that in. Edison, sample a note. So there you go. So you take away, whoops, what I do is trim side noise, and you've got the sample there. Just get rid of the stuff that isn't there, that's not like the delay and stuff. And there's your sample. Load that in, save it to whatever you want, and then you can play, start mucking about. And I'll show you. I mean, tell me if you think this is close to the sample off the Sennheiser one. You can see on the analysis on there, it's got a bit too much release on that actually, that sound, but you can EQ it of course, but that's the basics of the sound. So that's how you make the sweet Exorcist bleep sound. I hope that gives you a rough idea of how to make some bleepy Yorkshire bleep and bass style things. Till next time, I'll probably redo the Inner City Stab for my next tutorial video, but if I don't find something else to show you. But yeah, I just thought I'd show you that, a little quick tutorial on how to make that kind of sound. And yeah, see you next time. Keep it old school.